This week I'm visiting Lamego and Rodrigo village in the Douro Valley of Portugal.
This area is the area of relaxation and the spa zone, wellness and spa. Okay? We do some treatments about massage, exfoliation, hydration, peelings about the body and about the face. Okay?
Now this is another spa room and the colors reflect the mood.
This place is very important for who have breath diseases, the sinusitis, rhinitis, and the respiratory system. Okay, we have 4 treatments: the inhalations, douches, and all the part, and the aerosols. This area is a ludic area. Have a swimming pool that is unique in this country, in Portugal. It's a swimming pool, hydrodynamic, and you have the temperature of 32 degrees, the water, and have a lot of equipments about hydromassage. The hydromassage in the back, the cascade, the baths, the jacuzzi, all in this area.
Chasing wild ass. It's not what you're thinking. It's a narrative of my travel around the world. I have interspersed photos and recipes to whet your appetite and allow you to dream, discover, and rediscover these great destinations. The title came about while I was in Kutch Wild Sanctuary chasing jackasses in India. Chasing wild ass is adventure, it's culinary, it's history, and it's a lifestyle with a bit of humor to spice it up. Chasing Wild Ass, the book, is more than 500 pages exploring the world. Remember, my world is your world, so get up, get out, and travel. Lamego is a magical village with lots of history and great mansions and cathedrals. Lamego is a small town located in northern Portugal in the Douro region. The fountain and the small chapels are part of the Baroque church that sits on top of a hill, 686 steps to the top. This is the entrance to the Mateus Palace. This statue is resting in the pond in front of the palace. The Mateus Mansion is a museum of a splendid period.
Hey, good afternoon everyone. My name is Sylvia, I'm going to be your guide. We're going to start the visit to the Casa de Mateus. So welcome to the house of Mateus. This house, it was built in the first half of the 18th century. The style of the house is Baroque and the architect was Italian, Nicolao Nazzoni. This house is still passed on through the same family, so the owner is the 7th Count of Vila Real and he still lives in this house but on a private side. The ceilings, they're all different in all of the rooms. Everything is made from chestnut wood and they were all made by local Portuguese men. This wood is very abundant here in this region. The room we're in now is the entrance hall. This room is used today by the Foundation of Mateus. The Foundation of Mateus is a private foundation. It was created in 1970 by the Count's father. The main objective of the foundation is to create funds to be able to restore this house and its pieces, but they also organize many cultural activities. We have music concerts, poetry reciting, seminars and exhibitions. So this room, it can be used in those activities. The babies you see here on the ends of the ceilings, they're very typical from the Baroque style. They're called putti in Latin, and they represent the innocence of this style. We also have a photograph of the present owner in that showcase over there. He's 70 years old, the 7th Count of Vila Real, and he has 2 daughters. So the house will continue to pass on. He is the 13th generation of the family. We are in the blue room. This was used as a smoking room for the men. We call it the blue room today because of the blue porcelain in the cupboard. 18th century, again, it's Chinese. It comes from Canton and never used. These porcelains were only for exhibition. Okay, so only to show the family's wealth. Around the room, the different paintings are the different generations of the family. The most recent one is on that side. We have the grandparents of the present count. The grandmother, for example, was the lady responsible for the gardens. She inspired herself in the French gardens of Versailles. On this side, we have another secretaire. It's the most valuable one. It's made with gold lacquer. This one is Japanese, and the top is also transportable. Above it, you can see the oldest generation of the family, the very first morgados. A morgado was a property title that was given to the oldest son. Only one son inherited all of the family's inheritance. So the brothers and the sisters, they got nothing. Okay, this title will last until 1863. Then in 1863, it's abolished. So from then onwards, the heritage will be divided between all of them. So this is called the rich room because it does have the richest pieces of the house. We have two cupboards from the 18th century, very different. The red one, typical from the south of Portugal, from Alentejo. It's an oratory where the ladies could put their saints inside and pray at home. And if you notice on the inside, on the top, it's got the blue sky painted, so to give the idea of heaven. The other one on the other side is English, William Mary style, so it's got Dutch influence as well, and it's called a work of marquetry. Only the green is painted. The rest, different tones of exotic woods cut into small pieces and then inlaid like a puzzle. So this is our museum of sacred art. These pieces, they used to be in the chapel, but the chapel is very humid, especially in the winter, so we had to bring them here to the house to be better preserved. These two rooms used to be guest rooms. We have here a very typical Portuguese work from the 18th century. This is called a maquineta. It comes from one of our most important schools of art in Portugal, Escola de Machado de Castro. These figures, they are made from terracotta, and it represents Jesus' death and also Mary's grief. The table here wasn't always a table. The top came from a door to a cabinet in India in the 16th century, mother of pearl and the dark bits, turtle shell. The bottom was only adapted in the 19th century. If you notice, the gold is more recent there at the bottom. French style, Louis XIV. Okay. The paintings in this room, they're nobody of the family, they're only models. They come from the French School of Arts of Pierre Mignard. And we have two more contadores. On my right, it comes from Spain with a Moorish decoration. It could have been used also as a desk, and then they would close it, and they both have handles, so they're both transportable. The other one comes from Goa, from India, one of Portugal's ex-colonies. It's also marquetry work. It's got two woods, ebony antique, and the white dots, ivory. You can also see Portugal's patron, Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. This piece is Indo-Portuguese from the 18th century.
The Mateus Mansion is a museum of a splendid period which houses artifacts, art, history, tapestry, and silverware. The Orient was a big influence in this museum. Religious artifacts are placed throughout the mansion.
Okay, we also have a spinet from the 19th century. Unfortunately, we did try to restore it, but it doesn't work. The keys were made from ivory. The two doors in the middle closed means it's the private side of the house. It starts here, where the present count still lives with his family. And also, you can notice the inbuilt cupboards. It looks like there are 4 of them in this room. From the 18th century, very modern for the time, but there are only 3. The one behind the screen is actually a door, and it leads to some stairs, and it goes downstairs to the kitchen. So the kitchen is right beneath this room. We also have an 18th century screen. It's English, painted leather. The cupboard is Portuguese. You can see the typical Portuguese carvings on it, the trembles. They're on the inside and also on the outside of the cupboard. And the silverware is English on the two top shelves, on the bottom, Portuguese, and it's got the monogram of the family, a V and an R for Vila Real, and a crown which represents the counts. So here we are in the Four Seasons room because of these four paintings, 18th century. They come from the Italian School of Arts of Arcimboldo. In each one, you can see a lady, and then next to her, there is another figure in profile made from flowers, fruits, or vegetables. We have spring on this side, summer on the other, autumn, and the darkest one, winter. Around the room, you can also see these cabinets. They're from the 18th century as well. They're called secretaires. This is where the family would put their important documents. These are Portuguese, the work in the wood, typical Portuguese carvings. These were handmade. They're called trembles, and we have the twists at the bottom. The two big ones, they have no locks, so these never left the house. The small ones, which have the locks, the top comes off, and they could take it when they travelled as well. So like a suitcase or a travelling safe. The plate in the centre of the room is the oldest piece in this house. It's from the 15th century. It comes from Manises in Spain with a Moorish decoration, and it's painted also on the back, which is not very normal on plates. The porcelains are Chinese. Okay, so here we are in the library where we have 3,500 books in many languages and many subjects. The oldest ones you can see on the first three shelves up there. They date from the 16th century. Most of the covers have been restored, but every book is original on its insides. The small pieces of paper mean they're being catalogued. The most important book in the library is the one you see here in the showcase. I don't know if you know any Portuguese literature, but there is a very important Portuguese poem called the Lusíada, Os Lusíadas. It was written in the 16th century by our national poet, Luís de Camões, and this poem, it talks about Portugal's discoveries. So, for example, Vasco da Gama and his voyage to India. We have here the very first illustrated edition, a unique one in the world. It was ordered to be made in 1817 by the 5th Morgado. He was a Portuguese ambassador in Paris, and there he met three French painters, Gerard, Dessène and Fragonard, and he invites them to make these illustrations, which you can see here on both sides.
These long hallways are embellished with beautiful furnishings and vases. And this is the facade of the palace.
I'm Luís. I'm the owner of the restaurant Manjardodouro here in Lamego. We serve the local products here in the restaurant. It's traditional food in Portugal, like lamb, cabrito, veal and pork. We feature the local wines from Douro. We have Barca Velha. It's one of the best wines in the world. It's very expensive, but it's very good. We have all the wines, like this. You drink today is Quinta Nova. It's a reserve wine. It's a red wine, good, very red wine, good. I go to the Switzerland and work for my first time in restaurant. After I come back to Portugal, we work here with passion. We like what we do it here. We like serve good wines, good food, and we do it this everything all the days, 7 days a week. We love receive the people. I like speak with the people, and I like to see when the people like the wine, the food.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get the glasses. Everybody, the glass. You should have seen Jon. on, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Saúde. 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 We just finished having a wonderful lunch here at Manjardodouro, which is a restaurant here in the Lamego region, which is north of Viseu, which is famous for its smoked goods, which one of the most famous ones from here is Porfilios, right here, where they make presuntos, chorizos, salpicões, which most people don't know the name, salpicão, but once they try it, they usually tend to enjoy it. And we're also famous for lots of wines because we're on the border of the Douro Valley, the famous Douro Valley, and the Beira Alta. And we have really good wines and sparkling wines in this region. Murganheira, Raposeira, and lots of tourism. We have lots of castles, palaces that are almost 900 years old. And it's a very famous area around here. My name is Pedro Posidonio. And I'm an exporter of this wonderful region in north of Viseu, and my offices are in Tarouca, right close to the famous Murganheira cellars. We also have olive oil, very good organic olive oil, very good tasting, healthy olive oil, none of that bad stuff the other countries have.
My name is Marta Ferreira, and I'm from the company of wines of Port Wines, Marta's. This is a company with 200 years old. And it's a traditional, it's from a family, it's traditional. We produce wine, port wine and muscatel, only that. My port wine is very good because it's traditional made from made of the family, from the grandfather, then to the son, and then the grandmother. It starts today. We have lots of varieties. We have the tawny, we have the white one, we have ruby, we have Leopoldo vintage, and then we have muscatel.
So welcome to Quinta Nova. It is a quite old estate. We are celebrating this year the 250 years of Quinta Nova. It has been established so in 1764. And the project of Quinta Nova de Nossa Senhora do Carmo was put in the market in 2005. We have opened the hotel in 2005. We have 11 rooms, so we have organized wine tourism with rooms, a restaurant, a lot of different wine tastings, a walking trail to the vines, and we organize a lot of wine club trips here to Quinta Nova. We also have a very big range of different Douro wines. Our core business is the still wines with white and red wines, a little bit of port wines. And we only have ruby ports on the port wine. We are going to taste then so one white and two red down in our tasting room. So we can go there now, if you wanna. Yeah.
Cool. And who's the winemaker? And
Jorge
how many hectares?
Alves. The whole estate is 120 hectares. We have 85 hectares with planted vines, and they're all red grapes because we are very low in altitude, so we reach very high temperatures. The average in summertime here is 38 degrees Celsius. In Fahrenheit, I don't know. About 100, yeah.
Say 100.
And so the white wines that we vinificate here in our winery, we purchase the grapes to other producers and then we do everything here. We only have here at Quinta Nova for the red wines, for the white wines, we only...
The Douro region is magical. I'm delighted I had a brief visit to taste and experience its great wines and gracious people. Until next week, I'm Jon Haggins, a GlobeTrotter. Remember, my world is your world. So get up, get out, and travel.